Hi, I'm Liz Sneddon. Let's have a look at our 2019 probability exam and question 1F. So here's our question. So we've got a graph here of a different brand of bread that Jane uses. She's weighing the bread and she's got the data collected. So we've been asked to estimate the mean, estimate the standard deviation of these weights, and then talk about any assumptions or limitations. So let's start by looking for the mean. So the first thing I'm going to do is find the tallest peak. Then the mean has to be at right slap bang in the middle of that. Okay, so I'm just drawing a line going down there in the middle, and you can see it's going between 37 and 38. So what's halfway between 37 and 38? Well, that's a mean of 37.5, so 37.5 grams. That's what our mean is. So finding that one off the graph, that gets you your achieved U-tick. Now let's have a look at what we need to do for our merit. So what I want to do now is look at their standard deviation. So I need to think about the range. So the range of the data, it starts at 29 and goes all the way up to 44. So that total range there is 44 minus 29, and that gives us a range of 15. Now in terms of a normal distribution, which is what I'm modelling this off, with some mean and standard deviation, if I go out by 3 standard deviations, so 1, 2, 3 standard deviations and above by 1, 2, 3, then the area that is covered in those 3 standard deviations, plus or minus 3 standard deviations, that area is approximately 99%, so nearly 100%. So what that means is if I go up by 3 standard deviations and down by 3 standard deviations from the mean, then that gives me a total distance of 6 standard deviations. So that means our range of 15 is equivalent to 6 standard deviations around the mean. So now I can use that to work out the standard deviation. So I need to get the standard deviation by the south, so I need to get rid of the 6. The opposite of multiplying 6 is dividing by 6. So 15 divided by 6 will give me a standard deviation of 2.5 grams. So if I can get to that value, then that now, the mean and this value together, that will give me my merit R. So that's doing our mean, doing our standard deviation. Now to get our excellence, we need to look at the assumptions or limitations. So we've got Jane's family using a different brand of bread, and she's weighing the slices of bread for a week. Okay, so there's a few thoughts that just occur to me in that. Okay, so in terms of assumptions, the first assumption that I always want to talk about no matter what I do is independence. Okay, now I need to talk about it in context of this problem. So what I'm talking about, the event, is the weight of a slice of bread. So that means every time we pull a slice of bread out of a packet, we are assuming that its weight is independent of the next slice of bread I pull out of the packet. Okay, so then I have the question is that assumption okay? And yes, if it's been, depends on how it's been cut. So if this bread was cut by a machine, then it would be I would be pretty confident saying it should be very similar slices, and therefore each slice should be independent. But equally, it could be that if it's because of the machine, if there's a setting on the machines that it's out, there'll always, every loaf of bread that it makes, there will be a problem. Okay, so this is something I'm going to assume. So I assume that the weight of each slice of bread is independent from every other weight of bread. Okay. What else am I assuming? I'm assuming that this week's bread, okay, so the loaves that they're buying this week, so this week's bread is representative of the brand. Okay, so represented of the weight of all bread made by this brand. Okay. What else? I am going to assume that the bread is fresh. Okay. Because if the bread is not fresh, if the bread was frozen, for example, if we put it in the freezer, then that adds a little bit of ice crystals to it, which then could add to the weight of it. Okay. Same with if the bread is stale, then that I don't actually know, I could see though that potentially could change the density of the bread a little bit, and therefore as it's absorbing more moisture from the air, the weight might increase. Okay, so I'm going to assume that the bread is fresh and not frozen or stale. There. So if we can talk about the mean, so if I can calculate the mean and the standard deviation and an assumption, then that will get me through to my excellence. I need all three. So I need the mean, I need the standard deviation, and I need an assumption or limitation.